Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. For many double oven gas range repairs, you will need to disassemble the appliance. Before you attempt this, be sure to unplug the power cord or shut off the power supply. You should shut off the gas supply as well. You will also need to pull the range away from the wall so you can access the rear of the appliance. For many lower oven repairs, you will need to fully remove the oven door. To do this, lift up the front of the appliance and support it in the center. Now unthread the two lower screws securing the door retaining brackets to the frame. Open the door and unthread the upper screws securing the brackets. Rotate the hinge locks back. Loosen the brackets and use tape to help secure them to the door. Partially close the door, then lift and pull the door toward you to remove. Before you replace any oven components, remove the support and lower the range. Then remove the oven racks. To reach the bake burner tube, slide the burner tube cover to the left and lift up to remove. Unthread the wing nut and remove the shields. To replace the burner tube, first unthread the screw securing the orifice cover and remove the cover. Next, unthread the burner tube mounting screw. Now slide the burner assembly to the right and lift up the front of the tube to detach. Use a 5/16" nut driver to unthread the screws, securing the igniter to the tube. Gently set the igniter aside and remove the old burner tube. When installing a new bake burner tube, confirm that the air shutter is open the same amount as the old shutter. Now position the igniter on the new burner tube, then thread the screws to secure. Align the burner tube on the orifice as you insert the front tab into the slot in the base. Slide the assembly to the left. Then thread the burner tube mounting screw. Reposition the orifice cover and secure it with the screw. Realign the shields, then thread the wing nut. Reposition the bake burner cover and slide it to the right to lock it into place. Replace the oven racks. To reinstall the lower oven door, support the front of the range. Insert the door hinges into the hinge slots. Reposition the retaining brackets and rotate the hinge locks forward. Rethread the upper screws to secure the brackets. Close the door and thread the 2 lower screws to fully secure the retaining brackets. Remove the support and lower the range. To reach components like the temperature sensors or spark module, use a Phillips head screwdriver or a 1/4-inch nut driver to unthread all of the screws, securing the lower rear access panel. Lift the panel up and out to remove. To install a new temperature sensor, disconnect the wire connector of the sensor you're replacing. Unthread the mounting screw and you can remove the old sensor. Install the new sensor by inserting it through the hole in the rear panel. Then thread the screw to hold it in place. Connect the wire connector. With the repair completed, reposition the rear access panel. Thread and tighten the screws to secure. To access control panel components, use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 4 screws, securing the upper rear access panel. Disconnect the wire connector from the control board to fully release the panel. Next, disconnect the ribbon connector from the board. If you need to replace the user interface panel, first unthread the 4 mounting screws to release the control board from the control panel. You can now unthread the screws securing the user interface panel. Pull the old panel down to detach. Install the new panel by aligning it on the control panel. Thread and tighten the screws to secure. Reposition the control board and thread the mounting screws. Connect the ribbon connector to the board. Reinstall the upper rear access panel by first connecting the wire connector to the board. Align the panel and secure it with the screws. To reach components behind the manifold panel and under the cooktop, lift off both grates. Pull off the 5 control knobs. Open the upper oven door and use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 3 lower screws securing the manifold panel. Next, unthread the 2 upper screws securing the panel. With the screws unthreaded, you can lift off the panel. Use an adjustable wrench to help unthread the nut to release the gas supply tube from the manifold. Use the Phillips head screwdriver or a 1/4-inch nut driver to unthread the front screws, securing the cooktop. Lift the cooktop assembly up and support it. If you need to replace a burner valve, first remove the spark switch from the valve. Next, use a 1/2-inch wrench to unthread the nut to release the gas supply tube from the valve. Unthread the screw to detach the clamping bracket, and you can remove the old burner valve. Install the new burner valve by aligning it on the manifold, then position the clamping bracket and thread the screw to secure. Insert the gas supply tube and thread the nut. Be careful not to damage the tube by over-tightening the nut. Align the spark switch and snap it into place on the valve. To replace an orifice holder assembly, first remove the appropriate burner cap. When replacing the center orifice holder, you'll need to unthread the 2 screws securing the surface burner cover. Lift off the cover, then use a T20 Torx bit to unthread the 2 screws securing the burner base. Lift the base straight up to remove. Again, use a 1/2-inch wrench to unthread the nut to release the gas supply tube from the burner valve. Depress the tab to release the wire from the surface igniter, and you can fully remove the old orifice assembly. Install the new orifice holder assembly by first connecting the wire to the surface igniter. Position the orifice holder, then hand tighten the nut to secure the gas supply tube to the valve. Align the surface igniter with the hole in the burner base. Then thread and tighten the screws to secure. If applicable, align the cover and secure it with the screws. Replace the burner cap. Now wrench tighten the gas supply tube nut. Again, be careful not to over-tighten the nut. Continue the reassembly by removing the support and lowering the cooktop. Thread and tighten the 2 front screws. Insert the gas supply tube into the manifold and thread the nut. Realign the manifold panel on the support brackets. Thread and tighten the upper and lower screws to secure. Replace the control knobs on the valve stems. Reposition the grates. Turn the gas supply back on and plug the power cord back in, or restore the power supply. If you've replaced a burner valve or orifice holder assembly, you may need to adjust the flame height of the burner. You can do this by setting the burner to low, then remove the control knob and secure the burner valve stem with a pair of pliers. Using a 1/8 inch non-flared flathead screwdriver, rotate the adjustment screw inside the stem clockwise to decrease the flame height, and counterclockwise to increase the height of the flame. With the flame properly adjusted, the double oven gas range should be ready for use.